Mrs. Wood. I'm back for our last day of Point of View. Today you're going to have a chance to show me and your teachers what all you have learned about Point of View. So I need you to grab a couple things before we get started. You're going to need scissors, glue, and your week 4 day 4 packet. You're going to need to be on the 2 pages that look like this. So go ahead, grab your week 4 day 4 packet, scissors and glue, pause the video, and then when you're ready, hit play. All right, welcome back, guys. So what we're going to be doing today is you have 2 pages that look like this. I need you right now to find the one that at the bottom says an onlooker's point of view, Colin's point of view, Mrs. Lombard's, and Carlos's point of view. That's the one we're going to need first. What I need you to do is take your scissors and cut right along this dotted line and cut each of these cards out. Go ahead and pause the video so that you can do that now. All right, welcome back, guys. You just cut the cards out at the bottom. I'm going to write mine in with a marker so that we can decide what to do. But what's going to happen is all 4 of these stories are the same story. It's just 4 different people are telling what they saw happen. So what we're going to decide today is, as we're reading, who told what story. So this first one, I'm going to do with you. And we're going to work together to see if we can decide who is telling each story. The second one that we do, I'm going to read all of the stories to you and you're going to decide. So before we get started, let's remember, point of view is telling us who is telling the story. It could be a character, that's someone in the story. So we're going to listen for words where they're saying things like, I did this, or my, or he did this to me. The narrator, and the narrator in this, they're calling an onlooker. So you should have a card that says onlooker. That's the same as a narrator. That's someone who is not part of the story. They just saw what happened. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to complete this. So we're going to start right here with this first one. So listen as I read it and see if you can start to think who told this story. Was it an onlooker, so someone not involved? Was it the student named Colin, a teacher named Mrs. Lombard, or a student named Carlos? My class was in the middle of a fun science lesson. The students in my class were experimenting with different ways to blow up balloons while I observed their progress. All of a sudden, one of the balloons popped. I jumped, and then outside in the hallway, I heard somebody say, "Stop pushing me, Carlos." So let's think, what clues did we have there? It said, my class was in the middle of a fun science lesson. The students were experimenting while I observed their progress. So is this a student talking or a teacher? Right, it's a teacher. So let's look down here and see which one of these might be a teacher. An onlooker? Could it be a narrator? No, because they're saying things like I, right? Colin, is that a teacher? No. Mrs. Lombard, is that a teacher? Yeah. Or Carlos. So in this first one, we're going to glue down the one that says Mrs. Lombard. All right. So in the first box, you need to glue down the one that says Mrs. Lombard. So you can pause the video right now and glue that card in there. All right, let's look at the next one right here, next to Mrs. Lombard. Mrs. Saunders' class was in the 3rd grade hallway walking to music while Mrs. Lombard's class was doing a science experiment in their classroom. During the science experiment, a balloon popped. This loud sound caused Carlos to trip and accidentally push Colin. Colin got upset and Mr. Saunders came over to calm everybody down. What types of words did you hear? Did you hear I, me, my, or mine? Did you hear things like he and she and they? They were doing a science experiment. He tripped and fell. Right. So this would it be a character or the narrator? Correct. This is the narrator. And on this one, they call it an onlooker. That is just a fancy word for narrator. So glue the card right here that says onlooker. Pause the video, and when you're finished, hit play. All right, so now we have 2 left, and we're left with Colin and Carlos. We need to figure out which boy is telling each one. So let's listen. My class was on our way to music when I heard a loud sound coming from one of the classrooms. I turned around looking for what caused the sound when I accidentally tripped and ran into Colin. He turned around and glared at me. "Stop pushing me, Carlos," he yelled. Mr. Saunders came walking quickly over to me and told me that we would have to talk while the class was in music. So who was this? It said that he ran into Colin and Colin yelled, "Stop pushing me, Carlos." Right, this one is Carlos. So glue the card that says Carlos's point of view. So go ahead, pause the video, glue it down, and when you're finished, hit play. All right, let's look at this last one. It says, my class was walking to music, but I couldn't stop thinking about lunch. Today we were having pizza, my favorite. As we were walking down the 3rd grade hallway, a loud sound came from Mrs. Lombard's class. Then Carlos pushed me. He was always doing this. I turned around as I said, "Stop pushing me, Carlos." Mr. Saunders heard me and headed our direction to talk to Carlos. Who's telling this one? Right, we only have one left, and that's Colin. So glue your last card that says Colin in this. So you should have Mrs. Lombard, onlooker, Carlos, and Colin. When you're done gluing these, hit play or pause so you can glue them, and then hit play when you're ready. All right, so you should be back now. You should have your second one. So what's going to happen this time? You can go ahead and pause and cut these out, and then I am going to go over with you what each of these says, and you're going to decide this time on your own which one you think should go there. So make sure you have these cards cut out and ready. All right, so the very first one says, I was lying on the couch trying to sleep when I heard the doorbell ring. I rushed to the door. I looked out the window and started barking at the woman at the door. "Be quiet. Mom's trying to sleep," my owner whispered loudly to me. I headed back to the couch as the door was opened. So this is a character that's in the house. They ran to the door when the doorbell rang and started barking. So we have the postal worker's point of view. That's like the mailman. Would the mailman run to the door and start barking? If so, glue mailman, postal worker. If not, let's see what's next. Ada's point of view. Well, that's a character. We don't know who Ada is. Mom's point of view. Would mom run to the door and start barking? If so, glue mom up here. If not, let's see. Fido's point of view. So I think we need a little bit of information because we have Fido and Ada. We don't know which one would be barking at. Let's read the next one. Ding dong. I opened my eyes, wondering if I should go get the door or try to go back to sleep. Just as I had decided to try to sleep, Fido started barking loudly. Ugh, I groaned as I climbed out of bed. I headed for the front door just in time to see Ada taking a package out of the postal worker's hands. So this person talks about Fido barking at the door, Ada taking a package from the postal worker. So who did the other one tell us was trying to sleep? Was it the postal worker trying to sleep? Was Ada trying to sleep? Was mom trying to sleep? Or was Fido trying to sleep? Glue your answer right here. This one also gave us a clue as to who was barking. So now that you know who was barking, glue their name right here. All right, if you need more time, pause the video. This next one says, this was my last stop of the day. I couldn't wait to get home and eat dinner. I climbed the steps and rang the doorbell. A long-haired dog ran to the window and started barking loudly at me. Be quiet, I heard a girl whisper. Mom's trying to sleep. The barking stopped as a brown-haired girl opened the door. She signed for the package I had brought her. Finally, I could head home. So who would be bringing a package? Would it be the postal worker, Ada, Mom, or Fido? Glue your answer in the box. All right, let's read the last one. I had just finished my homework when I heard the doorbell ring. Fido leapt off the couch, ran to the window, and started barking. Be quiet, Mom's trying to sleep, I told Fido. Fido crept back to the couch as I opened the door. A postal worker was standing at the door waiting for me to sign for a package. So who had Fido jump off of their lap while Mom was sleeping? Was it the postal worker, Ada, Mom, or Fido? So go ahead and glue these down. You can have an adult help you check it out, make sure it's right. And when you're finished, upload both of these to Dojo. So you want to make sure you have both of them so you get credit for them. This one you should have got all right because we did it together. And I will see you guys back next week. We're going to start talking about fairy tales. Have a good weekend, guys.